I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place.
Hello and welcome to Green Actors Guide to New York City, or as we hyphened it, GAG2NYC. This is a brand new podcast, or I guess a brand new podcast that I'm doing for the fourth or fifth time, trying to get the format right. Last week I did it in audio format, and unfortunately my recording gear wasn't really good, so now I'm trying it in video format for a couple reasons. One, video format seems to be easier to share. I know that sounds strange, but when you put it on YouTube, you can instantly share it on Facebook, and then you can watch it in Facebook, whereas audio clips, you've literally got to go ahead and go to the individual site, which people just are lazy and they don't want to see. So it just seems like video is an easier way to do things. So that's what I'm going to try this week. Furthermore, it also seems that video is a little more exciting. So I'm going to throw in random graphics here and there to try to excite you. And we'll see what that happens. I shall warn you ahead of time, this is my first time giving this a shot. I'm not editing very much other than to throw in, like I said, graphics. So we'll see what happens. This is kind of off the cuff. I did prepare a little bit of this, but hopefully this stays engaging and entertaining. And okay, so who am I? I'm Kevin James Muldoon. I'm brand new to the city of New York. I've been here for just a little over a month. Previously I lived in Florida, Central Florida, near Ocala area. And before that I've lived in Washington State, and well, pretty much 38 out of the 50. I'm what you would call in New York an aspiring actor, or also known as a food service agent, although not yet. I'm getting there, but not yet. So I've been here for 1 month, and I thought to myself, when I'm meeting all these people, there's not really a site, a website that I'm aware of at least, that kind of guides new actors where to go, what to do. And part of that might be because it's incredibly competitive. You know, why would you want to help out a fellow actor when you want the same role they want? You know, doesn't that kind of cancel things out? That's the logic. I'm kind of playing it the other way. I think honestly a rising tide raises all boats, to use the expression. And I think that the more we help out each other, the better we network, the more we stick together, the better and more lucrative it can be for everyone. I truly believe that this profession is about networking and how well you market yourself. So this is my attempt to market myself. Now, about the glasses. I don't wear them, and they actually have no frames in them. I just wanted to do this. See? I told you I'd keep it visually entertaining. All right. Oh, and they made me look smarter like Rick Perry. Yeah. That was my political humor. First off, before we get into the show, although I guess we're already into the show because I've just did an intro about myself. So now that we're into the second segment of the show, I want to tell you that I'm expanding things and trying to make it a little bit easier to interact with the community and trying to build a community as it is. So I've created, again, Green Actors Guide to New York City. It's always hyphenated as GAG, G-A-G, 2, the number 2, NYC. I'll try to, if I can edit correctly, I'll try to get like that little disclaimer down at the bottom, running the whole video. We'll see. So anything that I'm going to have this on is going to be GAG2NYC. So there's a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/GAG2NYC. Simple, right? Then there's a Twitter. Wait for it. Twitter.com/GAG2NYC. Huh? You like? In New York City, there must be at least 20 plus links to various casting agencies. These are going to be everything from Actors Access, Backstage. Some of them are national organizations. Some are just directly informed in the New York area. And what I want to do is basically put those down, and the ones I've used, and maybe even review them or get other people to review them as well, because there are a lot of scams out there, and it's important to know which ones are worth spending your money on. And yes, most of them want you to spend your money on them. So that's what the site will be used for. Also, I'll post various audition forms on the Twitter account, things that sometimes I get access to because I'm paying for some of these audition forms, so I can maybe share some of that information with people that haven't signed up yet or paid for it. I can put that on the Twitter feed. All right, so this week we've got an interview with Brian. Now, Brian's one of the actors that I got to meet while I was out on an audition. And actually, before we get into that, I just remembered where we met was kind of entertaining, wasn't it?
Oh my god. I can't begin to tell you the monstrosity that was. Oh my god. Did you get the pictures I sent you?
No, I didn't. But before I even go there, because I totally forgot about that. Brian, can you introduce yourself with your name and how long you've been at this the acting gig?
Sure. My name is Brian Morales McGrath. I have been acting for, say, 8 years now.
Oh, excellent. Okay, I had no idea that was that long.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, go ahead, and if you want to tell them quickly how we met and where we met. I didn't see the photos, but I'd love to.
All right, so we both, I guess, did you go through Mandy.com?
No, I got mine through Backstage.
Okay, so basically there was this open call for improvisational actors to come in, and I guess what we thought was to get into the school to learn everything was more or less like a pyramid scheme.
Yes.
The most ridiculous thing ever. And I actually got in, and then they were like, "Oh, so congratulations! You will pay I think $425 every 7 weeks for 7 cycles."
Oh my god.
And then I was just like, you know what? Nope, not worth it.
Yeah. That's in a future episode. What I'm hoping to do with this site and the links on the page is basically go through all the various casting sites, the ones that I feel are legit, because I mean almost all of them you have to pay for. The ones that will actually help you get work, and then like what we went through, the scams. And this was basically a scam. As it was listed on Backstage, it said this is for a paid audition in improv, and how they paid you, quote unquote, was by you auditioned, and it was really like a 3-hour lecture / timeshare sales pitch, and then if you did improv well enough for 20 minutes with them, they would send you an email saying you got the gig, and then you could come back and pay them, but they gave you a discount. That was how the whole
Yeah.
Now you said you got in, and I didn't.
I thought you were funnier than I was.
Well, it might have had something to do with the fact that I said that you guys are like a scam, and I feel like I really am about to buy a timeshare. And what did I say? I compared them to, are you the Lexus, the Toyota, or the Kia?
Yeah. I think the guy running it just gave you the death stare.
Yeah.
You were not getting in there.
I kind of felt like I should have left halfway through after the 2-hour-long lecture when that one gal got to leave, and because I stayed, I was not gonna have, I was gonna have some fun with him,
Yeah, I mean, I should have left too. I mean, like even their craft table sucked. I mean, it was just like
their craft table. It was cookies and water bottles. Are you kidding?
It was cookies and not even like full pints. Like they were half-pint water bottles. I mean, it's just. Everything about it was terrible, and here's the kicker: the pictures that I sent you, which you didn't see, it was the same actor with 2 different names. So I'm looking at it, and that's what made me go, nope, I'm good.
And what kills me is I guarantee you, I mean, we were smart enough to see the deception, but I guarantee you there are people out there that pay for that all the time, and they just don't see it. Yeah. Let's get on topic real quick. The topic this week was things I thought I was good enough to try out for, and when I didn't get the role, basically. So when you didn't get the role, what it was like, what it felt like. Do you have a specific time in your life that you were like, I thought I had this role, I thought I practiced for it, I was there, and for some reason you didn't get picked? Have you had that experience?
Yeah, a week and a half ago.
Okay. What was the role?
Yeah. It was Equity had put out a post for off-Broadway auditions.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out about that, and I sat there for about a good week and a half, 2 weeks. I mean, I had a couple monologues, I dusted them off, and found the one that I felt was the strongest. I studied that religiously, to the point where I'm in the shower just reciting lines over and over again. Or
right.
If I'm laying in bed with my fiance, I'm just saying the lines to her seductively, and she's looking at me like, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
Stop that. I did that, and I went to the audition, and I mean, I got laughter, I got response back. I mean, the everyone that was there to see me audition seemed, intent on me, and I thought I had it.
Yeah.
And it's just this kick in the gut, because with those auditions, you don't get the thanks but no thanks. You just get nothing.
Right.
I like to compare it to having that really awesome date with somebody and they don't call you back.
Yeah. Yeah, I've also had the I thought I nailed this. I thought I had it. I was expecting to get this role, and it just didn't happen. And it's kind of gut wrenching.
Yeah.
It's like, why was I not good enough? And I won't lie. I was when I first got into this, I sent a couple emails to these guys, which is the hugest no-no, but I did it anyway. Just like, why wasn't I good enough? Could you help me out? And I wasn't really looking for tell me what I could have done better. I was looking for some kind of accolade, like, no, you were good enough. It's just that, Billy happens to be married to the daughter's producer or whatever, and that's why they got picked. It's rough, and it's just like, the thing that I wanted to talk about with this topic was, that is oftentimes when people will stop, is when they try as hard as you have and I have, and they don't get the role, and they're like, you know what, maybe this just isn't for me. And it's not usually the first time, but 2, 3, 4, a dozen times later, and they're just not getting the roles, and they're like, maybe this is just not for me, and then they drop out from the game altogether.
Yeah, that's all thick skin. I mean, you got to be able to hear no 99 times or hear yes one.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah.
They don't get that. This is a business where I go into an audition, and there are 45, 50 other people that look exactly like me. They talk like me. They walk like me.
Right.
But what makes me? You got to be able to just roll with the punches. You got to be able to hear no, and be like, okay, thank you, and go to the next one.
Yeah, you just can't take it personally.
Yeah, you can't. You got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to do that. I mean, I've gone on auditions where I had 2, 3 callbacks. And every time, I'm closer, and I'm closer, and I'm closer, and it's down to me and the other person, and the other person gets it.
Oh, that's gut-wrenching, man. That's, yeah.
It feels like just getting hit in the stomach as hard as someone possibly could. And sometimes, I mean, you feel like you want to quit. Like, you don't want to do it, but you just have to keep going. Like, you have to continue on this journey. I mean, if you stop, you'll never know what you could accomplish.
Right. It's most of the time this profession is not physically very laborious. Like, you're not out in the field, working your ass off or on a construction site, but the mental anguish sometimes of being defeated and being pushed down the ground and told, get a real job. It's overwhelming sometimes. It really is. Anything else you want to add to that? It was a real quick interview. I appreciate the insight. Did you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, for anyone out there, you gotta have that thick skin. I mean, trust me, you gotta learn how to just go on and just keep pushing. Because if you stop because you hear no 2 or 3 times, you're not built for it. I mean, it's a rarity if you get it the first time. You don't expect it again and again, no matter how good you are.
Right.
You just gotta keep going. Yeah, man, I appreciate the call, man. I hope we get to work together soon.
Absolutely. I totally appreciate it. Maybe I'll see you on another improv. I will tell you quickly about some stuff that I got to do this week, which was a lot of fun. I did get to do a car commercial, which was it was for a local New Jersey Acura dealership. It was incredibly ridiculous because they had me as a somewhat nerdy guy who was talking to a sock puppet. Now, this is technically my first real paid commercial, although I did do another one in Ocala that was paid, and it was terrible. The very next day, I then got into a movie that Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine are a part of. It's called Going in Style. It's a remake. It's kind of like a remake of a bank heist movie. And I did background acting. But basically, it was about almost 10 hours. A lot of it was sitting around and waiting. The pay was only $100 because I'm non-union. I guess union, SAG, makes about 2/3 more or a third more. I was told somewhere around 180 to 240 for the same amount of work. I will look into that, and that'll definitely come up in a future podcast. Enjoy the life.